All right, so let's talk about Daima. I can already see the fake Christians out there coming out, damning this anime because it has magic and you're looking at demons and whatnot. So what I want to do is talk to you about 3 different themes that will be explored in Daima that I think would actually be beneficial for Christians to look at and learn from. I will say, based on the 2 episodes, Daima is a little fresh with the demon lady, but I mean, it doesn't get a ton of airtime, so I think we might be okay. Number 1, transformation and rebirth. The idea of turning Goku and his allies into children could parallel the biblical theme of rebirth. Before we get into that, I just want to note the fact that Goku getting turned into a child is not a new story. It's something that we actually see in GT first. So it goes to show that it was actually a good idea. I just think the execution wasn't completely there. Another thing is that Goma obviously did not watch Dragon Ball because Dragon Ball Goku was a menace. So I think he's gonna have a real tough time and he's going to be regretting turning Goku into a child. Alright, so let's talk about rebirth. So rebirth is actually a theme that we see often in Christianity, right? We know that we are born into a sinful nature, and after accepting Christ, we are actually reborn into a new creation. Right now, we are aware of not only our sinful desires, but we are able to actively fight against it, right? So the Bible describes it as the old you has died and a new one has taken its place, which is very similar to what we're seeing here in Daima, right? Goku gets turned into a child and he actually has to let go of the way that he used to, for example, fight, right? We see him struggling already with the reach and not being comfortable in his body, not being able to fly properly, because he has to let go of his old habits of how he used to move and now get readjusted to the way that he is now as a child, which is actually very similar to what a lot of newborn Christians have to go through, right? As a new creation in Christ now, right? A new rebirth, you have to get used to, okay, how do I move now in this earth as a Christian? Coming up at number 2, temptation and power. Goma's plan to use the Dragon Balls to gain power and diminish the threat of Goku echoes the biblical theme of temptation and the pursuit of the ultimate power, right? This is something that we actually see in Satan when he tries to go against God, right? He becomes envious. He sees God as a threat, right? As the thing that is in the way of him being able to be the supreme ruler, if you will. And he decides to go against God, and we find out in the Bible that he's actually cast down because of this, which is similar to what we see in Daima, right? We see that Goma sees Goku as a threat, and he plans of a way to get rid of Goku. Now, in this case, because of the Dragon Ball's limitations, he can't just, completely kill him off. So his next best case scenario is to turn him into a child. But again, we are starting to see this story being developed as this good versus evil, and evil seeing good in the middle or in the way of them being able to rule and do whatever they want. And lastly, cosmic struggles. The looming conflict between Earth's heroes and the forces of the demon realm recalls the biblical struggles between heavenly forces, right, good, and demonic powers, evil, similarly to the battle between God and Satan in Christianity. So Dragon Ball from the beginning of time has been this struggle, right? This story of good versus evil, where ultimately good triumphs. Now, the thing that I could see a lot of people having trouble with is that, there is a depiction of hell, or we're seeing demons on screen, so this is not good for Christians to see. But the thing is that evil has been around since the beginning of time, essentially, and we see the struggle in the Bible from the beginning, and this is a battle that obviously still continues on today. So I don't think that this should be a deterrent. In fact, if you think about it, Jesus actually spoke more about hell than he did about heaven. So I think that if you're a Christian and you're already hearing people say, oh, well, you shouldn't watch Dragon Ball, it's demonic, you're seeing all of these demons on screens and all of these things, then just keep in mind that these same themes that we are seeing in this anime are actually themes that we are seeing in the Bible. Not only that, but you could use the themes that are found in the Bible to relate to what you are seeing in Dragon Ball. I just think that a lot of the times, Christians tend to be a little bit too rigid. They think that if you're just seeing something evil on the screen, automatically you should discount it. But at the same time, you have to remember the Bible in it of itself is a story about good and evil, and ultimately good triumphing over evil, which is the story that we're going to get in Daima. Alright guys, well this is all that I had for you today. Let me know what you think. Are you enjoying the anime? So far, so good. I am impressed, especially by the animation. Let me know in the comments, and as always, I just want to remind you that we must persevere. Peace.